Well, I want to let you know that we're working a murder. That at the same time, weapon was used in. I told you. Tell me a fucking again, Brandon. Tell me again.
Something in these voices was telling me just to do it. And I know it wasn't me, but I did it.
January 8th, 2018 started out as a typical Monday evening for Ida Mae Ford. She had spent her day tending to her duties and enjoying the comforts of her modest home on Windship Street. Little did she know that her life was about to be tragically cut short. Around 9:30 p.m., wrapped up in her pajamas and wearing a shower cap, Ida Mae decided to step outside, carrying an umbrella against the misty night air, planning to head to the nearby corner store. She carried her cell phone in hand, unaware that something truly gruesome was awaiting her.
911, where's your emergency?
Hello, yes, ma'am. I was passing through Windship Street, and I seen a guy laying in the middle of the road next to with an umbrella.
Do you know if this was a white male or a black male?
It's a black male, but he was just laying in the middle of the street. But like I said, it's very dark out here because it's like right here by a cemetery. So I didn't want to stop.
Upon their arrival, the deputies discovered Ida Mae lying on the pavement with a gunshot wound to her chest.
Hearing that confession chills you to the bone. Ida Mae Ford, a grandmother simply stepping out to the store, had no idea her life would end so brutally. The 911 call paints a haunting picture, her body lying in the street, an umbrella beside, her next to a cemetery. It's a stark reminder of how quickly life can change. What drives someone to commit such a senseless act? As we dive into this case, let's honor Ida by seeking the truth behind her tragic death.
Following the identification, investigator Daniel Shirley wasted no time. A search warrant for Ida's residence was swiftly obtained, and the team descended on her home. They combed through every room, every drawer, every hidden corner, but found nothing of consequence. Determined to dig deeper, Shirley turned his attention to Ida's phone and discovered that Daryl Coleman was the last person to contact the victim. Despite multiple attempts to reach him, Daryl refused to speak with deputies. Investigators soon uncovered another name linked to the victim, Theodore Golston. On the 9th of January, detectives picked him up from his residence at Montpelier Avenue for interrogation. During questioning, Golston confirmed he knew Ida Mae Ford, admitting they had been in a relationship. He revealed they had lived together for several years, but had since separated. When asked about his whereabouts on the 8th of January, Golston claimed that he was at work until around 5 p.m. and then went home. He denied leaving his residence at any point during the night before law enforcement made contact.
There was something happened tonight, okay?
What's going on with that?
And unfortunately, Ida has passed away.
Indeed.
Yes, she is.
Somebody killed Ida?
Yes, it was not. She died of natural causes. Someone has actually just taken her life.
Alright.
Well, we're not for sure yet. We've got waiting on the autopsy stuff to be done, but that's why I'm trying to hunt you down and speak with you and see what maybe you can give me that might can help me find out who did it.
Damn.
Have you ever heard of the name Daryl Coleman? You never heard of the name Daryl Coleman?
I ain't know.
Golston also provided an alibi, stating his live-in girlfriend, Nikki Blackshear, was with him. After the interview, Golston was released, as the detectives saw no evidence suggesting that Golston had met with Ida or was aware of any circumstances.
Theodore Golston's interrogation feels like a dead end. His alibi checks out, but the detective's focus on Ida's phone reveals Daryl Coleman as a key figure. It's frustrating to see how investigations can stall, searching every corner of Ida's home yet finding nothing. This moment shows the painstaking reality of police work, chasing leads that might lead nowhere, all while Ida's family waits for answers.
Yeah, maybe about Ida.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk to you about. How long y'all been seeing each other?
I met about a month ago.
How'd y'all meet?
I met her by Montpelier, kind of about a little season.
Yeah.
I was just talking to my one friend and she came by, you know, we talked a little bit and she went on down the road and I finished talking to my friend and I went another way, but I bumped into her later on and we just, you know, started a conversation, started talking and you know, she invited me over, so we started talking, trying to get to know each other.
During the interrogation, Coleman admitted to knowing Ida Mae Ford for about a month. He revealed that he had visited her residence and spent a few nights there. When questioned about his whereabouts the night of the murder, Coleman had the perfect answer ready. Coleman further explained his whereabouts that evening, claiming that he watched the game with his mother before walking over to a friend's house, a friend who was nicknamed Squirrel and lived on Travis Boulevard. To verify his alibi, investigators reached out to both his mother and Squirrel, who both confirmed Coleman's account.
Speaking with people that knew Ida, I guess at one time that she had a you know, a drug problem.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with that?
No. She told me she didn't like drugs and stuff.
She never told you that she had at one time had been involved in drugs?
Nah. I guess that might have been a talk for the future or something.
Mm-hmm.
But, nah.
No, not really. It doesn't have any bearing on that or whatever. Do you have any issues there with drugs? And if you do, you do. I mean,
Yeah.
what kind of problems you got?
I know they do the smoke some.
That's what? I mean, like,
Weed and stones. Yeah.
stones?
Yeah.
But she didn't.
Nah.
She didn't do with you or never say she did or anything like that?
Nah.
During further questioning, Coleman revealed that he first learned about the murder from a friend who called him to ask if he had spoken with Ida, mentioning there had been a murder in her neighborhood.
I told her I talked to her earlier. And I said, well, I didn't talk to her later. I said, but let me call her and, you know, see what she okay and everything. So I called and the phone kept going to the answer machine. So I left a message like, if you call me back, I'm trying to see if you're okay or you up on the corner being nosy. Because I didn't know it was her at that time. I said, you up on the corner being nosy or whatever. You know, and I got called probably about 5 or 6 times. But nobody never answered the phone.
Well,
that made it start, you know, kind of worrying a little bit.
now, around what time was that?
And, you know, I think I didn't get it off the call.
Sure, if you want to see. You don't mind?
The detective contacted Coleman's friend, Brenda Clark, by phone. Clark stated that she saw Coleman 3 times on the night of the murder, once at Joy's Pick and Scratch, located across the street from his house, and then in the driveway with a beer in hand. Clark added that she learned about the murder from the news and then immediately called Coleman to inform him. Meanwhile, Coleman, seated alone in the interrogation room, began to show signs of nervousness. Minutes later, with his story holding up under scrutiny, Coleman could finally breathe a sigh of relief. However, the detective's suspicions lingered, leading him to question Coleman about the weapons he owns.
Yeah.
When was the last time you shot a gun?
In years.
Like,
Yeah. Go ahead.
what?
I want to test it or something.
Shit, something tells me you've been down this road before.
Nah, I just checked out some detective things and what they be doing and stuff. So I figured since you asked me that question, you might have some kind of test you want to check it on.
There it is. Let me see your hand. What's all that?
Talk,
Talk.
like Rufus, you know.
Yeah. So my crime lab guys, they on the way down here, so you let them swab your hands?
Yeah.
Okay, without search warrant, just consent?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you said the last time that you fired a gun was years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, if anything on there, I don't know how or where it comes from. It's some kind of miracle with some.
You ain't been around nobody nobody else shooting up guns, have you?
Chemicals or something. Oh, I said years ago. No, it didn't last. A year or two ago.
Okay. When you say years ago, I'm assuming you're talking like back in the day.
Yep, 10, 15, 20.
But you say it's been about a year ago?
Yeah.
Daryl Coleman's nervousness is palpable. His story about watching a game seems too convenient, and those unanswered calls to Ida's phone raise red flags. The detectives are circling, testing his honesty about guns and drugs. It's moments like these that make you wonder, is he hiding something or is he just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time? The truth feels so close, yet so elusive.
Deputy Johnson from District 3 ran the serial number of a .40 caliber pistol recovered during a traffic stop. Since Ida had been killed with a .40 caliber weapon, this discovery raised suspicion. Johnson had pulled over Brandon Mitchell for a tag violation, and upon detecting a strong smell of marijuana, searched the vehicle. He found a black backpack with about a pound of marijuana and a Smith & Wesson .40 caliber pistol. Mitchell was taken down to the station for questioning about Ida's murder and a separate shooting at Mercer University involving a .40 caliber weapon.
All right, Brandon, here's the thing. Now, I already know that you were out there, that the deputy's got a gun out of your car. Okay? And what kind of gun was it? Your gun, right? Your gun? Okay, they got a gun out of your car. They didn't tell you that at the time? Okay, well, they got a gun out of your car. All right, that is your car, you said it's your car?
Yeah, my car.
Okay, how long have you had it?
I just got it.
Yeah, but you just got it commit 5 minutes ago,
No.
yesterday, or
Yeah, probably yesterday. Nah, yesterday, day before yesterday.
Okay, yesterday, day before yesterday. Where'd you buy it from?
The dude, I think it's CNC. Nigga named Mike, he did right on Pine on it. He got cars in the lot. You know what I'm saying? I drove it off the lot. He ain't telling me nothing about no insurance. Like I would've went and got it. Man, I drove it off the lot. Though. I still got the little operating tag, the temp tag on it.
Okay. Well, like I said, they got a gun out of the car. And of course, that gun will be tested and stuff like that and all. So if if your DNA will be on it, we'll know, right? Okay. So, you said you don't know anything about the gun? Okay. Well, the gun is 40 caliber. Okay. Now, going to let you know that we're working a murder. Okay. That the same type of weapon was used in. And you just so happen to get picked up today with what? The same type of weapon, right? So, how do you think that looks?
You know what that mean?
I'm telling you. You put two and two together.
That don't mean a damn thing.
Okay.
I just look at my girlfriend.
Okay. Where's your girlfriend live at?
Call her. She didn't say I did live. She was calling the phone anyway. She wanna know where I'm at.
Where she live at?
On site.
Cypress?
Yeah, Cypress. Right down by Burn, close where you pulled me on. Cypress Drive. Yeah, right up by Carlisle. Cypress. Right out the other place.
Cypress.
Out South.
First Stevens? First Stevens?
I don't know what First Stevens is. Yeah, it's over there by there.
The detectives are direct and no nonsense, giving Mitchell no opportunity to make up a story. By the way, if you're finding the video interesting so far, do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. It really supports the channel. Now, let's dive right back in.
Well, how long have you known about the gun? How long has it been in your car? How long have you touched it?
What you mean, how long I touched it? I got it and I found the boot bag and I walked on my before I bought my car.
Okay, where was that at?
My mom, I don't eat.
Okay, so you found the book bag.
And the gun was in the book bag too.
Okay. And what else was in the bag?
What you find, man?
I didn't find anything.
Man, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's patrol baby, right?
Same difference.
No.
Big difference.
Big difference. Listen.
Well, you ain't find it where he told you.
He pulled you over.
That's bullshit.
Okay, that wasn't good. We ain't talking to you about what you got in the car. There's only one thing we're concerned with, which you understand what we asking you about.
Yeah,
You know what that one thing is?
that gun.
That pistol, right? That's the only thing you worry about. As far as anything else, that's what you gotta deal with him with. Our job is totally different than that. We give them violence.
I ain't got nothing to do with nobody.
Okay, that's what we asking about this gun.
And I'm telling you, I ain't got nothing to do with that body of that gun.
Okay, so but you saying that you
my car.
Where you found the book bag?
On my mustard in the bush.
And your mom stays on Edmund place, right?
Easy. Now my girlfriend on with y'all.
And how long ago was that? How many days ago was that? A week ago or something?
Nah, hell no. When I bought my car.
Okay, you said you bought a car when?
When I bought, I don't know, shit. Call Mike, 978-0007. He'll tell you when I bought that motherfucker.
Who was Mike?
The dude at the car dealer place.
So he's one of the workers there?
He owned it.
Okay.
He can't say, you don't say anything right up under the thing. That's what I'm telling y'all.
All right. So you found the book bag right before you bought the car?
No, like the day before. Then I went and bought my car.
Surprisingly, Mitchell, too, had an alibi for the night of the murder. However, his evasiveness only heightened the detective's suspicions.
Man, hell yeah. And my daughter can help too. You want when we get home? She'll tell you. 3 finna be 4. She'll tell you where I'll be here tonight. You want me to tell you? You call brother, you call mom, you call, man, about 7, 8 people in the house that know I'll be up every night.
Okay.
Y'all, shit.
We talking about one?
No, I'm talking about, they be right out there. Yeah.
We talking about Monday, period.
Alright, well shit, they know I'll be up every day. I mean, every Monday. They know that all that Monday.
Okay.
Y'all, chill.
And your brother?
No, we're the one in here tripping.
Is Jermaine.
Huh?
Jeremy, right?
Well, there was. I was at his house.
Right, Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Around what time was that?
I told you, I take my daughter to school at 8.
Tell me a fucking again, Brandon. Tell me again.
You like to move now. And like I tell you, I take my daughter to school at 8 o'clock every morning. And then I leave my girlfriend by 12 when she go to work, because she go to Bubble Mobile Tire at 11:30.
We're not talking about every morning, we're talking about Monday.
That's what I'm talking about. Monday, it's the same difference. What you mean? Monday, I took my daughter to school. Boom, dropped off. I came back home. I got there about 8:30, 9 o'clock. I laid down, left about 11:30. When my girlfriend went to Bubble Mobile Tire, then I went to G-Man house. What I'm telling you about. I left his house about motherfucking 8 or 9 o'clock when she get off at Macy, because she get off at her dad's off at 3, then go to Macy about 4 or 5. That's what I'm telling y'all. Then I went home to her, and she can tell you that.
The detectives employed the classic good cop, bad cop tactic. Detective Shirley adopted the role of the tough, intimidating bad cop, sitting close to the suspect and raising his voice when answers were withheld. Meanwhile, Detective Shockley remained calm and approachable, playing the role of the good cop. This dynamic encourages the suspect to trust the good cop, opening up under the pressure of the bad cop's intimidation.
What's your last name?
My name is.
Anybody else with you?
Hmm?
Anybody else with you?
We're calling up.
Riding, going to different places? By yourself?
It's right on.
It's around the, well, I don't, it's around the fucking corner. I'm telling you, you have another motherfucker in the car with you.
No.
Okay? You get what I'm saying now? You understand? Another motherfucker in the fucking car with you. Or you were by yourself. Which one?
I rolled by myself to my brother's house, and I rolled back from my brother's house with myself. Back to my girlfriend's house.
What's your
One.
name?
9-2-26-1.
And his address is?
I done down England.
So, when you left there to go to your girlfriend's house on Cypress, did you walk from English Avenue?
No.
Cypress? How'd you get there?
I drove back through Roy, where he just pulled me over.
What you was driving?
My car.
Okay, what you just said you got the car about 2 days ago.
I told you, I can't remember when I bought my car. Call Mike. He would tell, I told you, call Mike. He would tell you when I bought 2,500. 2006 Crime Vic.
You can't remember when you bought the car.
No.
How the fuck can you not remember when you bought your car?
Man, it had to be on the south. I think it was on the south, matter of fact.
On the 7th you bought it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which would mean that would be Sunday.
Nah, hell no, I ain't about to do it on Sunday.
You want to make a bet?
It was Sunday?
You want to fucking make a bet? Look, we can pull a calendar up, okay? Look at that. Sunday, the 7th.
Alright, grab my phone. I took a picture of my car the day I bought it. I can show you the day I bought that motherfucker. It probably was a Sunday.
Okay.
Matter of fact, his car in my car. It's sitting in the motherfucking middle.
Okay. So, because they got your phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be able to look through the phone.
What's your phone? The 972-1590?
Brandon Mitchell's interrogation is a masterclass in pressure. The good cop, bad cop dynamic is intense, and his vague answers about the gun don't help his case. Finding a .40 caliber pistol, the same type used in Ida's murder, in his car feels like a breakthrough, but his alibi holds. It's heartbreaking to think how many lives are tangled in this tragedy, with no clear answers yet.
From my understanding, and I know you probably want to jump to the point, I know they've been talking to you for a long time today, right?
Yes, sir.
And I know you probably won't be around the bush about it or nothing, but they said, we were informed about a homicide of a lady in Macon that happened a few weeks back. What can you tell me about that?
I saw a lady walking, I think I was right before Madden Avenue. She asked me where I was going. She said she was going one way. I said I was going another way, and I shot her.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about, you said it was on Madden.
Or right before Madden.
And so was she coming towards you, bud?
I kind of stopped and waited till she caught up to me, and we had those few words, and I shot her.
Okay. Where did you shoot her at?
I think maybe in the head, probably.
On January 24, 2018, Quentyn Sanders was formally charged with murder, aggravated assault, hijacking a motor vehicle, and armed robbery. He was promptly taken into custody. In August of 2022, years after Ida Mae Ford's tragic death, Quentyn Sanders stood in court and was convicted on all charges. The judge handed down a life sentence, ensuring that he would spend the rest of his days behind bars. Grandmother and cherished member of her community had had her life cruelly stolen by a man consumed by impulses that he couldn't control. Her absence left a...
Quentyn Sanders' confession hits like a gut punch. A chance encounter, a few words, and Ida's life was gone. The life sentence brings justice, but can't fill the void left in her community. Ida was more than a victim. She was a grandmother, a neighbor, a life stolen too soon. This case reminds us to cherish those we love and demand accountability for senseless violence.